Hello everyone and welcome to the Aya Aum Podcast. This is a special episode about the Vipassana meditation retreat that I recently went on. So this was a 10-day silent retreat. For 10 days you're meditating for about 10 to 11 hours a day, but you're pretty well in meditation the whole time because you're doing this same practice over and over again, and it just gets built into the way that you operate in the world. It's a really powerful experience. I'm going to give a little bit of a overview of the technique, not in complete detail of course, and then go into a little bit about my experience, and then now that it's been about a week after, some of the realizations in the ongoing process. So what is the Vipassana meditation technique? It is the primary technique given by the Buddha. So this is Gautama the Buddha. Buddha just means awakened one, and he was the one that we most notably know as the awakened one, but there has been many Buddhas before him, and there will be many Buddhas after him. So Gautama the Buddha rediscovered this technique. It wasn't something that he invented, and he worked with this technique for the full realization of enlightenment. So this is known as a complete system. A complete system is one that has been proven to be taken all the way to the highest aim, which is the full enlightenment, which can be thought of as the liberation of the individual from their personal mind and the mental defilements thereof, including the constant craving for pleasurable experiences and the aversion towards discomfort, which leads to suffering. One who has become fully awakened has risen above these mental defilements, these cravings, attractions, and aversions, and they have rested their mind beyond what we know as the body-mind and into a more infinite and vast space. That's the entitlement of the Buddha. So, with this technique, he taught it as a primary method to achieve enlightenment, and there's a whole system of understanding based on how it works. So what is the technique? Obviously this isn't going to be a full detailed account for that. It's best to go and learn this from a teacher, and for example, you learn this technique over 10 days. So me giving a short description of it is not going to give it proper credence. So first, for the first 3 days, you do what's called anapana, which is breath witnessing in the region of the nose. So you're watching your respiration come in and out, without controlling, without regulating your breathing. That's really important. Really, really important. So our regulation of the breath is like pranayama, like breath work, many different styles of breath work at least. And this will have an entirely different effect if we're controlling the breath rather than surrendering the breath. It's not a small detail to overlook. This is huge in terms of practice. Now, breath witnessing is not unconscious breathing, which is just allowing the breath to breathe itself without any awareness, which is what is dominant for most people. Breath witnessing allows us to watch the breath come in and out, which does in some sense regulate the breath, because as the mind becomes more attuned and involved with the body, there is some self-regulation that happens, especially with the furthering of the technique. But in general, we're looking to leave the breath alone, so it doesn't matter if it's shallow, it doesn't matter if it's deep. There's no preference given to an ideal breath or having a full breath. Doesn't matter. So the first 3 days you're watching respiration, and you're watching it just for the sensations that are appearing in this small area of the nose. So if you're hearing this on audio only, this is the upper lip, the nostrils, inside the nose, forming a triangular region. And then, after you've watched the breath there for 3 days, it's like sharpening your mind. You're focusing so that the mind becomes one-pointed, which will allow the Vipassana meditation technique to be much more potent. The Vipassana technique is given after the 3rd day, and this technique is where you start on the top of the head, and then what you do is you focus your awareness on your fontanelle, on what was your fontanelle when you were a child, the little soft point at the top of a baby's head, and then you begin to scan the whole scalp, the whole top of the head. And you're looking for sensations. These are really, really key points, which I'll expand on in a little bit. But you're looking for sensations. You're not looking for any particular sensations. These could be hot, cold, tingling, numbness, painful, pleasant. Doesn't matter what sensations. There's sensations in your entire body at all times. All of these sensations actually are somewhere, because we're non-dual, which means we have all these pleasant sensations and unpleasant sensations happening at multiple levels of your being. We're just not aware of them to the degree which we can become aware of them. So this meditation helps us to take our mind and place the mind's awareness, the light of consciousness, onto the body. And when the mind interacts with the body, the nervous system begins to bring up the sensations of the area so that we can view them with our conscious mind. So these sensations are always already happening. Now we're just attuning to and paying more attention to them. And we're doing this without preference, without looking for sensations.